Right, let's shift onto the sofa for some news from the world of home cinema with our resident expert, Steve Withers. So this is a Denon AVC X 4800H AV amplifier, no tuner. Splendid.
Right.
Carry on.
Yes, this is the latest mid-range model from Denon. And I would go as far as to say that I consider it a paradigm shift in terms of mid-level performance. It's taken a lot of the features and performance of the higher end X6700 and the more affordable pricing of the previous mid-range model, which was the X4700, and combined them, added some new features, and given you an absolutely stellar product that you can get for £2,199. Now, I appreciate that may not sound cheap. When I say affordable, I'm being relative here. It's certainly a lot cheaper than the stuff that Simon gets in for review, I'd say. But if you look at what it can do, that £2,199 is going a long way. And you will be hard-pressed to find any other AV receiver or amplifier that's equally as well specified for that price, other than, of course, the lack of a tuner.
I agree, it's not a cheap piece of kit, but this is about value for money, isn't it? This is about what you get for the money you spend. However, are there any star features on this piece of kit that you could pick out for us?
It's so feature-packed that could be a long answer, but I'll pick a few key features that I think really stand out. First of all, and this is the case with a lot of Denon's amplifiers or receivers, they do make both. If you're into multi-channel audio or object-based audio, this has got you covered. You've got Dolby Atmos, obviously, DTS:X, Auro 3D, and even IMAX Enhanced. So you've got every multi-channel or object-based audio format available currently built in there. So that's great news. It's got 9 channels of amplification built in, so you can immediately run either a 7.4, because actually it's got 4 subwoofer outputs, so you can run 4 independent subs if you can fit 4 subwoofers into your lounge. So you could run 7.4.2 or 5.4.4 right out of the box. But it does actually process up to 11.4 channels, so if you added 2 more channels of amplification, you could run 7.4.4 or 5.4.6. I mean, it's entirely up to you which way you go, but that's great news. I think one of the main features on this one, and this is a big difference from the previous generation of Denon receivers and amplifiers, is that there are 7 HDMI inputs and 3 HDMI outputs, and all of them support HDMI 2.1, which means you can pass 8K if you can find any 8K. But more importantly, perhaps you can pass things like 4K 120 for high frame rate gaming, which is certainly a big feature these days with next gen gaming consoles like the Xbox and the PS5. So that's great news. And as another feature, something that people have been asking for a long time from Denon, because Denon, they do include the Odyssey room correction system. They've been doing that for years. It's a very good system, nothing wrong with it. Very easy to use, very effective. But there are a lot of really sophisticated room correction systems these days, specifically Dirac Live, which is probably the most dominant room correction system that's available, like a third-party system that's being used by a lot of different manufacturers. And you can now, you do have to pay a fee. I'll make that clear. It's not free. You pay a fee, but you can actually add Dirac Live to your the X4800, and then you can run that system instead. So that's something that's new. Yes, there is a cost attached to it, but I think it's definitely a feature that a lot of people will be welcoming if they're fans of Denon. And finally, the model number, the X4800H, the H at the end stands for HEOS. So it does have Denon's HEOS multi-room system built in, which is actually a really great feature. And if you're a fan of music, that means you can send music around the house to different HEOS supporting products. And if you are a fan of music, it supports high-res audio. It also supports MPEG-H and 360 reality audio. So as I say, it's a feature-packed piece of kit.
Yes, you're right. There's a very long list. And in the past, we have reviewed bits of kit from Yamaha, Arcam. This is now so feature-packed from Denon, and we haven't heard from the others very recently. Do you think Denon are starting to forge out ahead in this field?
I think they've always dominated the mid-range. I've been a fan of Denon for over 20 years, and and owned a number of their products in that time. And I can definitely say that while they do make some really, really good high-end kit, if you look at their flagship AV amplifier, it's absolutely stonking, and it has like 15 channels amplification built in. And they also make some very, very good, quite cheap products, entry-level products. It's that mid-range area where they really do deliver the goods in terms of, as I say, features, pricing, and specifically performance. They're very, very good when it comes to multi-channel audio, and they deliver a really cinematic experience and a really immersive and dynamic experience, which I love on Denon kit. So I think they've always been strong in this area, but I think the 4800, really sets out their stall and consolidates their foothold in the mid range. And whilst yes, you can go for other means. For example, the Yamaha RX A6A, it's £300 more. Very similar, 9 channels, 11.2 channels of processing. But it doesn't have IMAX enhanced, it doesn't have Dirac Live. It uses Yamaha's YPAO room correction, which I don't think is as good as even Odyssey, to be perfectly honest. Has Music Cast multi-room, so it's got a lot of the same features. I'd say it's a tad more powerful, but I still think that bang for buck, the Denon has the edge. You can look at Arcam. Obviously you're talking about a very different price point. The AVR31 is nearly $6,000 and only has 7 channels of built-in amplification, but those 7 channels are Class G and are super powerful and really, really responsive and really good. It can decode up to 15.1 channels, so again, you have more room for expansion if you want to do that. And it has a tuner built in as well, but big price difference. So, as I say, in that mid-range area of the market, I think Denon continue to reign supreme.
Now, in the written reviews on the website, I always love to see what you tested this piece of kit with, and you've listed the films that you watched, which included Top Gun Maverick and Elvis, which I thought was probably great for testing out completely different types of soundtracks on films. So if you want to have a look at what Steve tested it with, I will drop the link to that below this video. And thank you very much, Steve, for reviewing that.